So I hope you are able to see the slide here.
Yes, yes, sir, we can.
Okay, okay. So again, a very good morning. I welcome you all on this session on how on preparing for Indian Forest Services means in around 50-55 days, right? So first of all, congratulations to you all. Generally, in our UPSC journey, not many people congratulate us on clearing prelims, right? But actually, it is very important, at least for Indian Forest Services, that we ourselves congratulate ourselves, right? Because like clearing prelims is one of the most difficult thing in this process of getting a rank in IFS, right? So you have actually, dismantled, left behind most of your competitors, and you are just left with around maybe 2000 and 1500 of the aspirants, of the candidates. So you have a actually very good chance of getting a final rank in this all India service, right? Despite it is counterintuitive, because we prepare a lot. No, we prepare for even months, no, 9 months, 10 months, sometimes even multiple years for civil services, right? But even in 55 days, we have a greater chance of getting a rank, right? Compared to civil services. So I think our exam will begin somewhere around 26th of November. That will be day of English and GK, right? And I think the detailed schedule has not come out, but geology, based on the experience, it would be somewhere around 29th or maybe 30th of November, and then maybe on 1st of December you might be having forestry ka paper. So I hope you all are aware, people, and you all know the pattern. Geology, it will be like there will be two papers of 200 each. So you have 400 marks geology here. You have 400 marks forestry. Some of you might be having different optional. It applies the same there. And here English is of 300 marks. GK is also 300 marks, and marks of both these paper counts in the final ranking, right? So this is the pattern basically. So now, before starting how to prepare, what should be our strategy, I just want to introduce myself and Lawrence sir to you all, because it is very important. You should have some trust and credibility of who is teaching you, who is guiding you, right? So I am Mayank Malvia, and I have with me Lawrence Kanyan sir. Lawrence Kanyan sir is co-founder Planet Geology. He is an IT Roorkee graduate, and he was All India Rank 1 in GATE Geology, right? I think in 2017. Before that, sir has worked in many very good multinational companies like Royal Dutch Shell as geologist, as field geologist, and then he also joined ONGC for a brief period. Right after that, sir has an experience of working as a research assistant, geology research assistant in University of Texas, USA, and then after that, sir also has a brief stint as machine learning developer in Canada. So presently, Lawrence sir resides in Canada, and he's also working as a senior field geologist, and also he is a co-founder of Planet Geology. Sir is also very passionate about teaching. That is why he is here. He has been teaching and mentoring civil services, forest services, and even other geology exam student from last 5 years, right? So, and sir is very important person for you all, especially for all those who join the crash course, because sir will be taking most of the classes for geology. I will also be taking a few units, 3-4 units, and rest 8-9 units will be taken by Lawrence sir, right? And I am Mayank. I am also IT Roorkee graduate. I have appeared in Indian Forest Service interview thrice with geology and forestry as an optional, right? And I also worked in Coal India Limited as a geologist, and I've also have experience with working with ONGC for a short period, right? And I've also been mentoring student from last 2.5 and 3 years, uh, right? So this is about us. We both will be teaching geology in this course, in the crash course. All right. So now, just to begin with, we are already having a lot of queries. And the most common question asked on phone, on mail, is whether it is possible to do it in 55 days, right? So it is a very intuitive question, because we prepare for civil services for over months, right? For at least a year. We cover the syllabus, we revise, we do test series, we make short notes and all those things. So we have given a lot of time. Because of that, we think that whether it is even possible to do it in 55 days, right? So firstly, you should understand that this is the condition of at least 80 to 90% students. right? There are few students who prepare solely for forest services, right? So they might be doing it for last 2 3 months, but most of the students, they might have given civil services, probably, most likely with a different optional, right? And now they are here to prepare for forest mains. So in that way, it is a level playing field, right? Most of the people, they will be starting now, right? So everybody has this 55 days window to prepare. So the one who will be more efficient, who will be more smart, right? Uh, they will definitely get a rank, because that is how the competition is, right? So like I said, you are presently left hardly with 2000 students, right? Even lesser. A lot of students skip the mains because they think that preparing two optional in 50 55 days is not possible, and all those things, right? So we will discuss what it takes to clear the exam in 50 55 days, and we have, most importantly, a lot of example, recent example from last 2 years from our classroom courses, right, who have done the same, right? For example, this is our classroom student who was selected last year, right? So like there was rank 2, rank 6, they were our comprehensive course student. They prepare for slightly longer time, right? And they got such rank. But like we have Shivam Mishra, he got all India rank 15 last year. That was his first IFS attempt. He wrote civil services last year with, I think, PSIR or something, some other, some PSIR or anthropology optional, and then he prepared for forest services. So I think he contacted us around October 1, and then he started geology as well as forestry crash course with us, and just in a matter of 50 days. Last year there was even less time, like 50 days were there. This year I think we have slightly more, 10 days more, because today is 27th of September and your exam begins on 26th. Geology would be somewhere around 27 28 of November. So you have around 60 days. In that 60 days, I understand that 5 6 days will get wasted in some way, because there will be Dashera, there will be Diwali, there would be days, couple of days where you would not feel like studying. So that is why we are targeting this 55 days, right? So basically, we have Shivam plus from last year crash course. We also have Udayan, even Arvind. Then we have Senthil. So there were 20 plus student 20 plus student from geology crash course who got a rank, who got a final rank, and at least 40 students from the crash course batch, they went to interview, right? So they also did it in just 50 days. So that was the conversion ratio, and that was their effort which led them to what such ranks, right? So a lot of other people here, they are from, even Athar was there, Kirti, and this Pooja, Krishna, all these were from our crash course batch only. So I said there were more than 20 students. So they did it. There is no reason you all cannot do it. All right. So this is the first thing. Before that, also we have a lot of, like, this is the mark sheet of Shivam. Shivam was our topper of our geology and forestry crash course batch. So you can see, right, in just a matter of 50 55 days, this is his mark sheet. So he scored 920. 921. So last year, Sushant, I think you want to ask something. So see, I'll complete the slide, and then we will open it you for you all to ask question. You can ask whatever question you wish to ask, right? There is absolutely no issue. Just let me finish the slide first. So he scored, I think, and last year the cutoff was, I think, if I am not wrong, it was 890. So now cutoff these days of IFS is hovering somewhere around 900, right? But from last 2 years we are having a lot of seats. Last year we had 149, seats. This year also UPSC has notified 151 seats. So these are all unprecedented, right? When I used to give the exam, there were never more than 90 to 85 seats, right? And before that there was even less. So these are golden opportunities. This year 2022, 2023, these are golden years for getting a rank in this all India service, and it should not be missed at any cost, right? So that is why I think, because of these seats, the cutoff has dripped a bit. But earlier it has gone up to 910, 915. But last year it was 890, and we can believe there are reasons that this year also it could be in the similar range, right? So see, in that 50 days of preparation, Shivam managed to score more than 200 in forestry. He has a brilliant score of 235 in geology. This is all out of 400, right? And then he had decent score in English, in GK, and even in interview he had a good above average score, right? So this is possible. This happened just few months ago. Even before in 2021, when Planet Geology started its first crash course, we had a lot of students from the classroom, right? Even rank to Varadraj, he was our test series student. He also prepared for 2 months only. So he actually has given IFS earlier also, but in that attempt also he gave civils with, I think, different optional geography, I think, and then he prepared for forest and he got rank 2, right? Then similarly, I think Apur was our comprehensive course student. Vinod was crash course student, and then we have a lot of people. I think this Durga Prasad, he got rank 29. And then similarly we have Ankit was there. We had Ramakant was there. So they were all our classroom students for from crash course. So they managed to get the rank, in this time period. So I think I talked about Varadraj. He got rank 2 in this time frame, and then again before that also 2020 he was our first student who got rank in IFS from our classroom, Gurharsh, right? So he got rank 7, just preparing for even in that year there was, I think, only 40 days to prepare, and he prepared CSE also very well, that he also got a rank in CSE. So even like preparing so properly for civil services, after that he moved to forest and he got rank 7 in forest, and he got a rank in extended list and general category in civil services, right? So presently I think he's serving as a for IFS officer in Himachal Pradesh. So and then this is the biggest motivation, I think. Now the biggest feat one can achieve is to get a rank 1, right? So this is Naveen Reddy. He was not a planet geology student. In 2018 there was no planet geology, but he was a friend of mine. This was the year when I myself gave interview, right? One of my interview was in 2018. So I knew him personally in Delhi. So like this was the guy who broke all the records. So he prepared after civils mains. After civils mains, he had that intuition that his paper have went bad. He might not get interview call because he had given interview with geography in civils earlier also. So in that year, he had that intuitions. He it was his, I think, fifth attempt, right? So he was very stressed, right? He left the job and 5 attempts have vanished and he had nothing at hand. So he was very stressed, and then he gave it all in 2 months time. He gave it his all, and see his marks. He scored 290 in forestry. He scored a record breaking 317 in geology. This is out of 400, right? A lot of people, like they good student, they struggle to get such marks even in board exam. So he's doing this in a competitive exam just in a matter of 50 days, right? And then so he was rank 1. So my point of sharing all these things to you is that it is possible. It is possible. People have done it in 50, 60 days, right? But what it takes to do, it takes a huge amount of hard work. It takes a huge amount of intense hard work, right? So this is what is needed, and this slide I think is the most important.
Mayank
You
sir,
should keep.
just 1 second to stop you. Ashirvadit, I think your camera is on and it's like pointing at your mattress or something. If you could turn that off, it'll be
All right.
okay.
I think he's driving or
Okay.
something, right?
Okay.
All right. All right. So, all right. So, like, this is the most important, right? Even if you join the course, if you do self study, whatever mode you follow, whatever source you follow, these are the, things you should keep in mind, you should follow. This is based on my own experience of preparing in less time, in more time, as well as whatever we are mentoring student from last 3 years, right? So, firstly is that it is possible to do it in 50-55 days because you presently, most of you have some momentum of civil services means, right? So what do I mean by momentum of civil services means is that you have just written a very hectic exam, right? So you all know what works for you, right? What kind of notes do you want to make, right? What kind of short notes work, how you should make diagram. So you are in that answer writing mode. Bhale hi you have nothing, you have no knowledge of geology, even forestry, but you at least have the, you generally have the, what it works for you in terms of note making, in terms of intensity. So you use all that momentum, right? Instead of thinking it as a fatigue, right? You should shun the fatigue and you should use it in your studies. But you should use it in a smart manner, right? I have getting call from last 2 days. People are directly inquiring about test series. Then I asked, have you prepared geology ever? No, like they have no idea of geology, right? But they are thinking of answer writing. Right, this is all, irrelevant thing. You could, that answer test and answer writing helped you the most in civil services means because you have been preparing for long, right? You have been uh, making notes, ratifying, revising, all those things. That is why test help you. But here the game is different. Here I think firstly you need to just cover the syllabus, right? So my point is, these will come later. It is all about basic. If you can cover the syllabus, revise it a few times, you are poised to get a rank, right? Because that itself is a big thing. Similarly, PYQs are very important. Our course, geology as well as forestry, it is bounded by PYQs, right? We make our boundaries using PYQs. They are inherent part of any exam preparation. But you should not have the OCD कि मैं PYQ ही solve करता रहूंगा, right? I will mug up all the PYQs and go for the exam. I will clear the exam. It will only frustrate you because it is like you are learning a language where you are learning ABCD of that language and you are trying to do reading comprehension straight away, right? The PYQs are the pinnacle of preparation. When you are prepared, you have done the syllabus, you can do the PYQs. They will happen eventually. They are interesting part of the course, but you should not. That should not be strategy directly mugging up the PYQs. Go through the concept once, then come to this way. Now this is the most important thing, is that next 55 days has to be one of the most laborious, most intense days of your preparation, right? So like Shivam was my student last year. He was in constant touch. He had a great trust on us because he came from a different channel. His I think his brother or someone in acquaintance, he was already IFS officer, so he recommended him to us, right? So he had a great belief in us and he did whatever we asked him. He followed the timeline, he followed the schedule of the course, he didn't lag behind much, and that is why he could do it, right? Similarly, I know of Naveen Reddy, 2018 rank 1, so I could say, about intensity is that whenever I met that guy in Delhi, I mostly met him at photo shop, shops, and he was always red-eyed, right? So I could see he was not even sleeping, right? So he's that 50-55 days. I think he was putting in 16 to 18 hours daily. He was motivated. He was revising also, learning also, and he was managing two optional. So whenever I met him for just 2 months, he was always red-eyed. He was sleep deprived and he was only studying. IFS preparation was only his priority, right? There was no Dashera, no Diwali, nothing for him, right? That is why he got rank 1. And we are even talking about him 5 years down the line, right? And he created history with such marks. So that is the intensity. These 55 days has to be, one of the most laborious days. Like you might all have done something amazing in past, right? That might have motivated you to prepare for such difficult exam. So it might be even it might be even some, maybe you were very good in basketball in your ninth and 10th and 11th and 12th. So there was a phase of excellence, right? Even maybe you went to a good college, you went to maybe IIT or some other college. So there also you might be a 9 pointer, 10 pointer sometimes. So there was always a period for everyone, period of excellence. So that was a time when you did some activity very very intensely. So basically you need to replicate that period of your life, right? Next 50-55 days has to be very very intense. So that is one thing. Another thing is that, like just I said, that the exam should be a priority, right? There will be Diwali, Dashera. They should take minimal of your time. Family trip, solo trip, all those can wait till December, right? Because I don't think UPS civil services interview will also begin before January, based on the trend. And forest interview will be very late, so you will still have time for all those things in December. Exam will end in November end. So it should be a priority, and you should start ASAP. If you take a 10 to 15 days break, you are over. I don't think you can make it in IFS after taking such break, right? 2-3 days are fine. Some off days are fine, but you should be continuous into it, right? That is one thing. And the last thing is that I know you have given civil services just now. Many of you who are here in this session, some of you will definitely be into IS and IPS, right? So, and some of you are already in service, right? I know somebody from IRS who is also attempting IFS this year, right? So that is the thing. But for this 50-55 days, you should have a very humble and a attitude towards learning, right? whatever you can learn, whatever you can, incorporate in terms of content, in terms of, you should do it, right? That is one thing. And another part of the strategy is forestry, right? Because I think most of you have forestry as another optional. So why I'm saying is that because these are all linked, right? You can excel in geology, but if you don't do good in forestry, it will pull you down, right? uh, Same is with English and GK, but English and GK can be managed in the month of November, after 10th of November. From this 27th of September, 28th of September to 10th of November, I think this should solely go to your optional preparation. From 10th of November onwards, you can we can plan for English and GK. So in this time period, geology will take most of your time because it is more technical subject. It also gives better result, right? You can see in case of even in case of Naveen Reddy, he scored brilliant in both, but he scored even more in geology. Same is case with, I think Shivam ka mark sheet I showed you, right? He also scored more in geology and less in forest, despite forestry being the easier optional, geology being the difficult optional, right? And that is the trend. Geology has been, giving a lot of even last year rank 2, rank even rank 6, they got somewhere around 220 in forestry, and they got 280 in geology out of 400, right?
Yeah.
So this is how geology can make a difference.
Yes, and
Lawrence, what
remember,
to add?
like, yeah, I wanted to say, like, yeah, sometimes you'll, like, when you see previous year papers, maybe last year's paper, you see sometimes you may think like some questions are very difficult. Last year, when people came from exam, they were like thinking this was like the most difficult paper in recent times, and still it gave like one of the best results in geology that we have seen in recent times. Because again, you don't have to like give your best. You're competing with other people, so what you get will depend on other people's performance also. So for example, if it is a difficult exam, if your preparation is right and you're still finding it difficult, chances like other people are also finding it difficult. Okay, so it is a competitive exam. Okay, it is not like it is not a solo race where you have to run alone and get give your best time. So you are competing with others, so don't get scared. Like sometimes here and there you may find like sometimes what will happen is when you're learning, sometimes you'll learn a subject, you start looking at pyqs, you may think, oh, I cannot solve any of those pyqs. That happens to like a lot of students. Okay, 60, 70, 80% students will have that feeling, and like at some point of time almost everyone will have that feeling. So the idea is like you should not get demotivated at any stage during this preparation. So even if you feel like you are not able to solve, your job is to just like wake up next morning, every morning, and then just keep studying, keep follow have a routine, keep following that routine, keep preparing. So that's what your focus should be. Yes, Mayank sir, carry on.
Right, right. And about forestry, whether you join crash course here somewhere else, or whether you can follow the the golden book of Manikandan, and right, what self study mode, whatever you do, important is you do forestry in a very intense burst of 13 to 15 days. Right, this is not an exam to do PhD. Right, you should not think of perfection. Cover it in intense way. People have been managing it that way itself, right? So in 15 days you should finish forestry and at least have at least one revision. Okay, that is important to have that balance and get a rank finally. That is one thing. And the last thing is that you should like I said, it is not a game of content, right? Just like Lawrence said, that it is relative ultimately. So it is more about time management, about the pressure management, right? You will be under intense pressure for next 50-55 days if you are truly preparing for IFS, right? You are preparing from your heart. So, and about resource utilization, if you are joining the course, you will have immense amount of tailor-made content on your portal. So you use it wisely, right? How much you can. So it is about all those things, how you are managing, how you are utilizing those to your benefit. And last thing is that it is best that you run with the schedule, right? I'll share the schedule. I think this is the schedule. So it is best that you, I know it is not possible for everyone, and right, everybody has their pace, but you should follow the schedule to one level, right? So today is this webinar. Lawrence, I will talk more on it,
Yeah.
right? And then tomorrow he will take two classes. He will tell more on it, what he will be covering, basic of geology. And like suppose we are covering general geology, one day we are covering environmental geology, mineralogy. So you should be somewhere around mineralogy on this day. We have also gap day, preparation day, right, to fill up your uh, la- uh, whatever is lagging behind. So you should keep close to the classroom at least. थोड़ा एक दो topic आगे पीछे चल रहे हो, it is all right,
That's
right?
why, like, in
So
between, you have those preparation days also.
yes, yes. Sir has given preparation days on all difficult जो भी topics हैं. After that, he have given you preparation days, right? So there will be live classes on weekends, and we will release around 4 hours of content daily on your portal, right? So after 2 3 days, you will not have dearth of content. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि you are ready to study more and you don't have content on the portal, right? After 2 days, it that will be taken care of. So इसके लिए we will come back to schedule. Lawrence sir will take it. This is the last slide for geology crash course. So I just want to tell you the features, what it offers, right? So we strongly believe that it is a one-stop solution to your IFS mains, right? Especially if you are starting now, just 60 days before your mains begin. So it is one-stop solution, which is very important, right? Because in 60 days you cannot juggle between the sources. You are reading Bangalore, you are reading Tulani University notes, and you are also reading a topper note and all those things. So we have taken care of. Even we have included the topper note, the famous topper note in our course, right? So this is that is one of the feature we believe. Second thing is it is mostly a schedule based release of material, right? So we will, like I said, we will release something around 4 hours of content daily, and there will be live classes on weekends also of some units. Whatever doubts come to you, we have a mentorship group, right? We have a mentorship group, which is also doubt clearance group on Telegram, right? So whosoever join the course, they are added to that group. So there is also peer learning. You can also see what other people are studying. It will also be like motivating to you, right? It will also give you some pressure to you that they are studying, you are not studying. Other than that, we both, Lawrence sir and me, will be there to clear all your doubts, right? So that is very important, right? So that is one thing. Another thing is, on which portal some people were asking we give. So we have a portal, web portal, where all the courses and material is there. So you will have access to that our portal is compatible to all the devices, whether it is a laptop, iPad, phone, everything, right? It runs on browser. Now we also have an option of an app, right, which is in a beta mode, but that can also work if you are using phone itself, right? That is there. The access to course will be till your IFS mains examination, right? Another thing is that the notes are not downloadable in geology crash course. Most of the notes are not downloadable. In forestry, we had made most of the notes downloadable, right? Because a lot of them are handwritten notes. Here also a lot of them are handwritten notes, but they are not downloadable in geology crash course, right? And this is done consciously, right? It is for your own welfare, because it will force you to make your own notes. Our notes are actually, a lot of our notes are directly in exam oriented form, right? You, even if you copy them, understand them and copy them, they are exam ready, right? But that is the thing you need to do. At least you need to write them from your own handwriting, right? Abhi it might feel overwhelming कि sir कैसे करेंगे, इतना कम time है, but it happens, right? Every year, those who do this, they actually end up good marks in the exam. So they are not downloadable. One thing, we understand at some units they are bulky, we make it downloadable, like we had done the same for unit 1, general geology, right? So but that is more of an exception, not the norm. So that is one thing. We have topper notes from previous year. Those who were our student and they made notes, they have shared their notes, we share them to you at times. So we do have a backup, right? But basically you should make your own notes, because our civil subjective examination, and you all have given civil services means few days back, the importance of self notes, right? So that is there. Another thing is, we have not put any limit on the views, right? You can watch the lecture and the material as many time as you want, right? So that is the flexibility we gave you. But it does not mean that you can share the login, right? Login share nahi karna, it is prohibited, right? Because uske do nuksan hai. If you'll share the login, right? First thing is, our portal is artificially intelligent enabled, hai, right? It will auto block your ID. Then you will have a lot of trouble. Uh, Anyways, our courses are very reasonable, given the market price, given the content quality and the conversion ratio for a genuine real rank, right? And the second thing is that those who join, see, उन्हीं को mentorship मिलती है. Mentorship is very important, doubt clearance is important, contact with mentor is very important, right? So only those people will get. So those who pay the fee in the name, they will only get the mentorship. उन्हीं को दो दो mentors का आशीर्वाद मिलेगा. बाकी जो लोग लॉग इन शेयरिंग करेंगे उनको पाप पड़ेगा, ठीक है? तो डू ज्वाइन द कोर्स, डू नॉट शेयर द लॉग इन आईडी बेसिकली. Another thing is this: if you want, if you have any other query, you can write mail to us at support@planetgeology.com. Support.planetgeology. I think support at होना चाहिए. ठीक है, and this is also our telegram number. You can ping at malviamayang_pg, right? So this was the basic. I just want to end this slide before Lawrence sir takes over. I also want to give an overview of forestry crash course. So this forestry crash course is a pre-recorded course. It is around 50-55 hours of classes, and the good thing is 95% of the content is already available today. If you join the course today, you have most of the course on your portal. So this is also important, right? In this exam, time is premium. अगर आपको यही चीज मैं आपको एक महीने बाद दूंगा, it won't be much of help. If you get it today, you can use it and you can manage your time better, right? So that is there. In this course there are actually 4 mentors, right? The lead mentor is Apurv Dikshit. He was IFS rank 11 in 2021. So he is the lead mentor. He has taken around 60% of the classes in the course. Apart from that, Mayank, I have taken one unit of silviculture system. Lawrence sir has taught a unit on plant biology, tree
Tree
improvement
improvement.
wala.
Yeah.
Yes. And we also have some input from Apurv, another Apurv Singh, right? He is, I think, rank 21 in IFS 2022. So he has also discussed some PYQs, right? And apart from that, also we have some other input from another mentor. So there are 4 mentors, 5 mentors involved. Again, this should be done in a sorry intense burst of 15 days, right? I personally recommend doing the crash course and reading Manikandan book 2-3 times. This is more than sufficient, right? To have a good command, and most of the material in forestry course is downloadable, right? Last thing, right? About English, I think a lot of you people worry about English. English clear strategy is simple. Do it after 10th of November. Second thing is just practice 5 years paper. Download them, see them, क्या आ रहा है, कैसे आ रहा है, right? And we have also given a free. It is free for everyone. Anyone can, register in it. ऐसा course दिखेगा on Planet Geology website. It is supportive content on English, right? So these are our personal notes which we prepared during our preparation of IFS. So यहाँ पे it is a good starting point. I am not saying कि sorry, this will give you 170 marks, but this is a good starting point. I have compiled material from various sources and just shared there. So it is a good starting point. You can use it whenever you wish to. It is available for free for everyone, right? Similarly for GK, I think you all are well versed with GK. Abhi aap just coming with civil services, so all you should bank on your civil services GS preparation, right? Just in it is 300 marks. There are 6 questions. In every question there are 3 to 4 sub parts, right? So you will be writing 20, 22, 23 sub questions there, right? So these are the pointers we can discuss later or maybe on Telegram group instead of going on detail right now. All right. So that is it. These are the courses available. We have this geology crash course, forestry crash course, and there is also this combo course. You can club both the courses and take it at a discount, right? So this is also available. It is like complete package. And then we have this comprehensive course. It is not recommended right now. It is for those who are giving civil services with geology or preparing only for forest. So you can opt any of these three, right? These are there. So I think now Lawrence sir can take you to the schedule and all those things, and then we will open it for all your doubts. And just to end with it, these are our results, right? So last year we had 18 in top 50, 18 of our student. Last year we had 26, and this year we will strive to even better this tally, and a lot of you might end up in that, right? So like these are the feedbacks and the testimonials. So we are actually doing good, and we right. These are some of the things. So now I think Lawrence sir can talk on how to begin the preparation, and I think on the schedule how the geology thing will go on, and then we can take the questions, right?
Okay. And I'll take like Sushant Kumar. You've been asking like I think 20 times you've asked now. Like you can ask your question now first. Sushant, do you have a question?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, I have compiled a list of questions.
Okay.
Uh, sir, my first question is
Oh,
will
you're
you
like a
help us
home
in
based. I will take just like one question first. Okay.
Okay,
Because I said
okay, okay,
as
okay.
Mayank said we'll take those towards the end. I'll just want to go through the September first. Sorry, this syllabus first. So
Okay.
if you want to like save those questions for the end, or if you want to ask one question right now, your choice.
Okay, then I'll ask it later on. Matlab,
Okay.
you can continue right now, then I'll
Okay.
ask it later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so just like going through the schedule. So you see, like today is the intro webinar. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I will take some intro classes. Now we will not be jumping directly into certain subject because many of you will be studying geology for the first time. So just to give you a feel, there is already like 190-minute video on geology, but it is recommended that you watch it before you come to these intro classes. But here we'll go through basically overall like paper pattern, also like what geology is, what subjects we study, and certain basic things that you need to know. Sometimes what will happen is, even let's say if you're studying intro this general geology, which is very first subject, there might be certain terminologies which will be introduced in some other subject, let's say igneous petrology. You don't even know, some people may not know what is difference between basalt and granite. Okay, so what is the difference between basalt and granite? So that part you should know for general geology itself, because there it will be, for example, continental crust is granodioritic or more granitic, that is oceanic crust is more basaltic. So these kind of things, something like the background knowledge that you need from geology. Okay, that is what we are going to cover in these intro classes. You will also get a feel of the subject. So for example, you get choice in certain questions. Okay, how to strategize that. It's not that each and every question that appeared in a paper you have to know it. Okay, you have certain flexibility that you can leave a few questions in the exam. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. But the first subject on 30th, which will not be a live class, which will be in a pre-recorded format, is general geology. And general geology will be very similar to what you like, not everything, but if you have studied, for example, geography as part of your general studies, you will recognize some of the topics there. Okay, so for example, continental crust, oceanic crust, plate tectonics, isostasy, these things you may have studied in geography as well. If you can scroll to the next slide, Mayank sir. Okay, then basically we will have like environment geology we have put there because it will give you some confidence that you are progressing. Again, certain overlap with what you have covered in your general studies preparation. Okay, so it's not like a very difficult subject. It's actually a sub part. Like what UPSC has done is, sometimes they have combined two subjects together. So for example, igneous petrology and metamorphic petrology are two different subjects, but in the syllabus you will see them combined. Similarly, environmental geology, geochemistry are different subjects. So that's why here you may find, like if you count the unique number of subjects, you may find some of the subjects more than what is there in the syllabus. So environment geology will be released, and then the like one of the most difficult, most important, like it is considered to be difficult, it is not really that difficult, is this on like what is written on October 3rd, mineralogy. Okay, so UPSC says it's mineralogy, but if you look at the syllabus in detail, it's like mineralogy and crystallography. Okay, so there are two parts to it. So what we know from our experiences, sometimes like students can get stuck in crystallography a little bit. It is more conceptual. Okay, so we have kept it towards the end. Crystallography is a subject which is not a prerequisite for any other subject. Okay, maybe few things only in mineralogy is like when you are learning mineral groups, you may need, for example, orthorhombic, some terminology will be there. We'll go through that later on. But crystallography is not mandatory for any other subject, so that's why we'll have it towards the end. Also for then we'll go to geochemistry, which is, if you've studied mineralogy, it will be pretty easy. Metamorphic petrology is still we will cover that in live class. So it's basically when a pre-existing rock is buried to greater depth, high pressure, high temperature, will convert it into metamorphic rock. Sedimentology, okay, pre-recorded, will have like, you will have like 2 preparation days after sedimentology. Hydrogeology similarly is pretty, it's not very hard, it's a short subject, you should be able to do it like in one day itself. Okay, although we have given a preparation day for 13. Okay,
Hydrogeology is linked with like groundwater geology mostly, right?
yes,
So you have read about groundwater in general studies. So here you will read it from a geology point of view. Ki groundwater moves, or how does it move? There is law, Darcy law, and all those things, right?
yeah, and some of things you will be able to relate, right? So for example, you would have already heard of the term aquifer. Okay, also you would have heard like rainwater harvesting. Okay, so groundwater recharge. So there is a portion of hydrogeology which you already know about. Okay, then mining geology. Okay, so that's subject from which a numerical sometimes is asked in the exams. So but it's related to basically how do you find ore deposits, okay, and also how do you exploit them, okay. So for example, what are different mining techniques, okay. So there will be two subjects. One is mining geology, another one will come towards the end, which is economic geology, which is more on like the principles or fundamental processes which result in formation of mineral deposits, okay. Mining geology, what is given here is more of the human aspect of it, like how do we get those resources out of the ground, okay. That is what we will cover in live classes. uh, and if you go back
Like
to
I just want like you might all have been inquisitive some point of time that why is there so much oil in Middle East, right? Why like India में क्यों इतना नहीं मिलता है? Then why certain minerals are found only in Rajasthan? So economic geology talks about all those things. How ores are formed, right? In geography you might have read distribution, the spatial distribution. कि okay, in Rajasthan you have copper, in Karnataka you have gold. But geology talks about कि how is gold formed, how is copper formed, right? The process, the genesis of all those things, right? So it is also economic part, it is also the part where geology helps in development in nation building, right, in this mining geology, economic geology. So this is it. So we will do it later because it is more applied topic, it will
yeah,
use uh, a lot of
basically
other units.
almost every other subject that you have covered, like structural, igneous petrology, metamorphic petrology, sedimentology, and even stratigraphy. So all of those, that knowledge will feed into that economic geology part, okay. Igneous petrology is basically study of rocks which form due to igneous processes, such as for example they form from crystallization of magma, okay. So magma or lava, okay, it doesn't always, don't imagine like igneous rocks will form from a volcano, they can crystallize within the earth as well, okay. Remote sensing is a pretty small subject in your syllabus. It is actually combined with geomorphology. So UPSC has combined remote sensing and geomorphology. So we will cover remote sensing. Remote sensing, it's like pretty simple if you cover it from NCRT. So there are two chapters in NCRT which will help you in remote sensing. So one is remote sensing, another is aerial photographs, okay. So we will share what that part is with you, and geomorphology, and then few additional
Just
topics are there, yeah.
one more thing is it is important because remote sensing is also part of a forestry syllabus,
Foresters.
right? Forestry paper to part B, I think, or part A, remote sensing is there. So if you do it here, it will be taken care in forestry also.
Yeah, to a certain extent it will be taken care there also, and that's like, and it's not like very difficult subjects. It you may also recognize like one topic of it, which is like basically some satellites that we study, okay, or what is called resource earth satellites. So for example, you would have at least heard of the names like IRS, Indian Remote Sensing Series, and then there is Landsat. Okay, so
Mhm.
Landsat and all is not in the syllabus, but at least the Indian satellites are in series. So even things you would have heard of like Cartosat, etc. So that will all be covered under remote sensing. Geomorphology is like I think you would have studied this as part of your GS preparation in when you study like basics of physical geography, and if you have studied landforms at any stage during your preparation, it will help you immensely in the geomorphology course, okay. Structural geology, very conceptual subject, okay. So it will take certain time. It involves a lot of diagrams. There is less memorization in structural geology compared to some other subjects. It is more conceptual. But what will help you in structural is we have compiled basically handwritten solutions of those PYQs, okay. So those PYQs are basically from CSE previous year papers, but if you look at the previous year papers, there is like almost 80 to 90% overlap with forest services, okay. So you will see whatever question has appeared in CSE would have at least at some stage appeared in forest also, okay. So that is why the syllabus for structural is exactly same. Maybe one or two topics are there extra which are extra in CSE, and that is what we are going to cover it in that part, okay. uh, Mayank sir, I cannot see the, oh, okay,
Oh, just
your syllabus, yeah.
okay. I'll come back to it later.
No, you can show this. No worries. So that is why like structural, those POI. Similarly for subjects like igneous petrology, which are difficult subject. Mineralogy, crystallography is difficult subject. So a
So
lot of these difficult subjects from paper 2, paper 1 will be covered under PYQs also. So we'll
yes.
discuss.
So
Yeah.
So another thing, like what sir has made the schedule, like we have mixed paper one and paper two, right? We are not following the UPSC syllabus order because that is not ideal to learn geology, right? And that would also not be good for our preparation. So syllabus wise, this is the first unit, general geology. Most of the thing you can they must be familiar to you already, right? From GS point of view, this is geomorphology, again very similar to geography content. Then this is remote sensing. This is again the paper one, section A, unit 2. All right. Same. Now this is structural geology. So like why I opened this schedule was like sir was saying ki the PYQs, a lot of PYQ discussion is from CSE questions, right? But the syllabus is same. In fact, in IFS, syllabus is slightly more, right? 98% of the syllabus of CSE and IFS are same, but around 2% IFS is more syllabus. So this I will also be sharing in the private group. So whatever is written in red, it is exclusive to forest services, and this
Yeah.
is all common to civils and forest, right? Actually, we cannot say that petrofabric could not be a part of civil syllabus. UPSC has not mentioned it, but they can obviously ask in civils also, but they have mentioned explicitly in forest also. Similarly, in remote sensing, everything is common. Geomorphology, everything is common. There is no red pointer, right? In general geology, there are these topics. They have written explicitly for forest service syllabus, not in civil service syllabus, right? Similarly, in paleontology, everything is same, but these are very wide topic, right? These are invertebrate, basically.
Yeah.
Paleontology, this is exclusive to IFS, right? So ये यही है जो सबसे ज़्यादा है in IFS syllabus. Otherwise, now you will see everything is same. In Indian stratigraphy, everything is in black, so it is common to civils as well as forest. Same is with hydrogeology, engineering geology. This is the only topic which is written additional in IFS syllabus, which is not in, but this has been asked in civil services also multiple times. So you can see it, right? So we will share it. I just wanted to tell you what is the difference between CSE and IFS, which Lawrence was talking about, right?
Yeah. And those PYQs will help you immensely because you'll
Yes,
see
yes.
like exactly they will help you in revision especially. Okay. And then like crystallography is part of mineralogy, which I said like we'll cover here. Maybe a few things I will talk about during mineralogy course itself. Then there is Indian stratigraphy, okay, which is unlike like some subjects like structural geology, crystallography, which are more conceptual. This is conceptual also in a certain extent because this is kind of like the story, okay, okay, the geological story of India, but it will involve a lot of memorization, okay, a lot of basically new names you will have to learn. Now if you are good with like maps and if you recognize some of the names, these a lot of these names will be based on names of, like names of places in India, okay. You have different formations, rock formations are there, they're named after places. So if you are good with like places in India, so where different locations are, different towns or cities are, it will help you, okay, in that. But otherwise it will involve a lot of memorization, so you will have to like simply will have to like simplify it a little bit. That's why we are covering it in live class. But it is also interesting in the sense that it is really the geological history that the subcontinent of India that we see today, okay. It has formed like all the geological features that you see there, like the cratons, the igneous rocks, really old parts of Indian subcontinent, like which formed billions of years ago, very shortly after Earth was created, okay. So there were like those nuclei which even like last year it was in news that in Singhbhum, okay. So some of the like the first land that emerged out of oceans, okay. So basically they found the beach. So those kind of things like are what make stratigraphy interesting, okay. Engineering geology is more about, which is like end of October will be is more about, for example, dams, tunnels, bridges, etc., that you have to construct. So now their geology plays an important role. So how you are going to construct it, whether some area is good or not. We saw, for example, in Joshimath subsidences happening because which I think has been partly attributed at least to human activity. So geology definitely in many instances will play an important role in the development. So that's what we cover in the engineering geology part. Paleontology is study of fossils. The UPSC civil services syllabus is much more limited compared to forest services. That is where we see the biggest divergence. between, it is not really divergence, it is just that the forest syllabus is more extensive. You have certain invertebrate groups which you have to study in there. So paleontology will take again some memorization here. Those who have studied biology at any stage will find it a little bit easier. If you have never had biology, maybe you'll take like maybe 1 or 2 extra days, but we see like at the end there is more than enough buffer over there. And then
But these
economic,
topics,
yeah,
these topics are very scoring also, right?
yeah,
They are also very scoring. So you should not be like generally science के जो students होते हैं engineering, they have this wrong notion that रटना पड़ेगा. They are not able to mug up. No, that is a bad thing. Right now you have given UPSC, you know, if you can memorize something, something which is very static, if you can memorize, then it will save your time in exam. It will, you know, give you better marks. So memorization is actually good, right? I understand that sometimes the words are very technical, then it might be difficult. But if there is something which is static, which could be memorized and reproduced directly, so it is actually in your favor itself, right? So just
yes.
they will need more revision. That is it.
Yeah. And then finally economic geology. So now you see like after we finish this, the geology exam is on 30th. So maybe not exactly a month. So just a little bit shorter than a month. So you will have like enough time to cover this syllabus during this stage. Okay. So
Yes.
to revise. So we will deliver everything by this. And we are like pretty confident that we can deliver it by that because we have already done this course like now 3 times. And this year actually if you like we can deliver it in like much shorter time as well, but we just like want students like not to lag behind too much, and then because sometimes it can then get stressful for students. Okay.
And actually, we are also flexible if like for student support. So if needed, we can even release paleontology by along with engineering geology itself. So we can give you everything by 30th of October. Absolutely no issue about it. So do not worry, right? If you are running ahead of class, which is very unlikely, so even then we will release it a bit early. So the point is, today is 27th of September. By October and or maybe a 2nd of November, we will be giving you everything which is required for your geology, right? So you will have enough time to mug it up, make revise, cover the whatever you are lagging, and also do the forestry. So that is it, right?
Yeah.
So I think this about maximizing the score, what to do, what not to do. This we will anyways be discussing in private group and in the classes. So right, so we will skip this thing for now. I think we can, sir, Lawrence, sir,
Okay.
we can open it for
Yes,
the
for
students.
questions. Yeah.
Yes. You can now ask whatever question you want to ask.
Yes, Sushant.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
I just want to check, Lawrence, sir, your recording is working because mine has been
Yes.
corrupted. Okay.
Mine is
Okay.
going fine.
Okay.
So I think the session was really good. I mean, most of the questions were answered, but I'm coming from a mining background, and I had a second year. I mean, so one subject was there of geology in my second year. So I have a little bit knowledge about engineering geology, but I was just confused about the numerical questions. What type of questions they are going to ask in the numericals and all. And regarding forestry, sir, the whole schedule is regarding the geology thing. There is no forestry. I mean, I can't see a forestry in it. So will you be in the combo course? क्या आप लोग मुझे वो provide करेंगे? मतलब forestry को लेकर कैसे क्या schedule है and all.
Okay, I
So
can
that
Uh,
was
answer part of it. For forestry, I think Mayank sir showed like at the start only you'll get like access to 95% of the content, so there is like no need for schedule in that. Uh, Now, if you're looking for like some guidance in like how to pace yourself, like what subject to study when, maybe Mayank sir can elaborate on that a little bit. Regarding like geology numerical questions, so numerical questions most frequent that we have seen, like if you like average over the past 10-15 years, so most frequently they ask from the mining geology part only, mostly from ore reserve estimation. Okay, I don't know, I think if you're from mining geology that much, you may have studied like ore reserve estimation at part. So basically you will calculate how many tons of ore is there, what is the average grade of ore. So for example, if you take 1 ton of rock, how much gold will you get? Or if you have like talking about iron ore, how much iron ore will you get like per kilogram of ore? Okay, per kilogram of rock. So those kind of things are asked. Sometimes here and there they're asking numericals, like one numerical. Usually you'll find two numericals in like the whole geology paper 1, paper 2 combined. Okay, so never more than two. Like I think it will be very, very rare. Sometimes, for example, they've asked from X-rays, Bragg's law is there. In geochemistry, they asked one question like to calculate hardness of water. Okay. So calcium ion concentration is given to you, magnesium ion concentration. So it is a simple formula, one line like numerical. But the numericals, that the level of math that you need to solve those numericals is like 8th and 9th standard math. Okay, it is not even like 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th standard. If you can do percentages, ratio, proportion, you will be able to solve those numericals. If you know how to calculate volume of a cuboid, you will be able to solve those problems.
Sir, I might sound naive, but yesterday I started preparing from a structural geography, a structural geology of Shantanu Mishra's NPTEL lecture.
Okay.
So just for a background thing. So I found it extremely, I mean, it was extremely knowledgeable, of course, but extremely comprehensive. So shall I rely on your material or shall I continue with the NPTEL lectures as well?
If you are like relying on our material, you don't need to go through NPTEL. Okay. So we basically, it is like properly curated, looking at different sources, looking at like specifically from previous year UPSC papers. Okay. NPTEL may not, they are not preparing content for UPSC exam. They are preparing content for geology in general, for your understanding. Okay. So of course, like there are things that are useful there. If you have started your preparation early, that is very good. It will definitely help you. But like considering the duration of the exam, you don't need to go through NPTEL or any other source. Like what you'll get here, we will be more than sufficient.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Nitish can ask.
हेलो सर।
Hi Nitish.
हाँ सर, मैं एक्चुअली स्टेट पीसीएस का जो एसीएफ एग्जाम है ना उसके लिए प्रिपेयर हो रहा हूँ
हम्म।
और वो जनवरी में है। तो क्या मैं ये कोर्स ले सकता हूँ?
यार मतलब देखो, दिस कोर्स इज टारगेटेड टुवर्ड इंडियन फॉरेस्ट सर्विसेज मींस। ठीक है, तो अभी डोंट नो आपके स्टेट पीसीएस का व्हाट इज द सिलेबस, व्हाट, और तो ये आपकी ड्यूटी है। यू आई कैन शेयर द सिलेबस ऑफ आईएफएस एंड सिविल सर्विसेज, आप उससे मैच करो। इफ यू थिंक द सिलेबस इज मैचिंग
हाँ
देन यू कैन डेफिनेटली, बिकॉज
100%।
जियोलॉजी इज जियोलॉजी, कंसेप्ट आर कंसेप्ट, राइट? कोई सा भी आप सब्जेक्टिव एग्जाम दोगे, द कोर्स विल बी हेल्पफुल। तो बेसिकली वी हैव टू कोर्सेज, वन इज कॉम्प्रहेंसिव, वन इज क्रैश कोर्स। क्रैश कोर्स अभी जिनका एग्जाम नवंबर दिसंबर में है उनके लिए आइडियल है, बिकॉज दैट इज मोस्ट
हाँ,
प्रैक्टिकल। कॉम्प्रहेंसिव कोर्स इज फॉर दोज जिनका एग्जाम दूर है, 4 5 6 महीने दूर है, राइट? सो दैट यू कैन चूज। तो बाकी इट इज योर ड्यूटी कि आप मैच करो सिलेबस कितना सेम है, कितना डिफरेंट है, एंड देन टेक द कॉल। कंसेप्चुअली सब काम आएगा। जियोलॉजी का कहीं भी पढ़ लो, सब्जेक्टिव एग्जाम में सेम ही सिलेबस होता है, सेम ही कंसेप्ट होते हैं, राइट?
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
Sir, do we have to include current affairs as well in the geology question papers?
No, no, you
No.
don't have to think of all those things. Abhi you just go through the syllabus once. Like I said, that geology is 100% static, 99% static. So all those hangover of civil services is not needed here, right? So एक बार आपने syllabus पूरा कर लिया, that is it. You don't have to add subtract much, right? जैसे कि सर ने जोशी मठ का कुछ बात किया, so that might be linked. ऐसे एक दो टॉपिक इंजीनियरिंग जियोलॉजी से, there is mining policy, but mining policy is also more often static thing, 10 साल में एक बार ही चेंज होती है, राइट? सो इट इज solely static only.
It is like static. I don't know, like sometime I remember like somewhere like maybe like once in 20 years they asked something about like current affairs. Maybe like Chandrayaan was there, some question.
Ah,
I think once they asked about that, but they don't ask any current affairs. Now, if you from your own choice have to include in current affairs in your answers, usually you will not get like many opportunities for that also in the paper. The paper is very static.
Sir, I heard one topper talking about that she included Ambe Valley in the answers and made a box around it and she scored good marks. I don't remember her name.
Yeah,
well,
that's just like one or two places you may see, but it's not the norm. Okay, people have
like
scored
basically
good
what
marks without including current affairs also. Okay.
basically what you are talking presently is like you are talking ki what topping should I put on my pizza. अरे पहले prepare your pizza, prepare the base, prepare the syllabus, then you should go for all these 2 3 pointers, right? पहला your prime aim should be to cover the syllabus.
Yeah.
What you are talking is very shallow thing, right? एक दो marks का फर्क पड़ने वाला है, but 200 marks will come from thorough preparation of syllabus, static one. So do that first, then worry about all those things. That will come naturally. You have given civil services, you are intelligent enough to throw in some sparkle, all those things. So that will happen. Do not worry much about it, right?
Mayank, this is a good question, like from Money or Mani. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but the question is like, will the access be provided all at like all the content be provided all at once, or will it be provided as per schedule? Okay, one thing I think why this question is coming is maybe it is like we can provide all content at the same time, and the students have to follow the schedule. So this is regarding that.
Yeah, right. So like second thing is forest. मैं पहले I'll answer the second question. Forestry and geology parallel stream है. ठीक है. So it is up to you, right? I will also have some write-up from last year selected student. So when talking to them, few of them followed what they used to do, give 70% of the time to geology initially and 20-30% time to forestry, right? Or so that is one thing. Another thing is for next 10 days you follow only geology because it is a difficult one, and then maybe for 2-3 days you take them together, right, parallelly. So that is why I said that forestry should not take more than 13-14 days, even if you do the crash course, right? So you try, it is like hit and trial, whatever suits you. Some people can manage two things in a day, right? They can wake up and study geology till 3 p.m. and then take a nap and again start forestry after 6 p.m., right? Something like that. If you are of that type. Otherwise, some people do well when they study a subject for whole day and then take forestry. So you have to manage it. Point is, you should manage it within 5th of November, right? From today, 5th of November, you should complete both the syllabus, howsoever it happens, right? Whether going parallel or going just one and then having a short burst of another, then again geology, short burst of forestry. So whatever suits you, right? This you will have to follow, hit and trial. Second thing is, will the access to geology course be provided? So see, for this batch it will be gradual itself, right, based on what sir has shared the schedule, right? So this problem of that having every access to you, because in this we cannot give you the live classes, though pre-recorded at that we can give, but we plan to give few units in live classes, right? Live classes have not happened, they will happen on weekend, so we cannot give the access to those unit. So this जो problem है आपको, it will only last for 2-3 days. After 3-4 days you will have enough content कि you will be occupied with that only, right? So this is how it is. It will be gradual in geology and it will be everything at one go in forestry, right? uh, I think some Abhishek has raised the hand. Anusha has, anybody can ask.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Okay, Anusha, please ask.
So, like in geology, which subjects or which chapters to we should prioritize in the beginning?
I think we have given the schedule. It is better कि you follow the schedule, right?
Yeah, it is based on like
In revision,
yeah. So it's like the schedule is based on like what you should know, like as a background knowledge. Sometimes one subject may be prerequisite for another subject, and it is also designed in a way like you are always like progressing. Okay, sometimes if you bundle like let's say three very difficult courses together, and then you'll say like you have spent like so many days and not you have not progressed much. So we have taken into account all those things, and that's how we have designed the schedule.
should we make notes parallelly, sir?
Ideally you should make notes parallelly. That will be like super helpful, because like once you're making notes it helps you like learn in a better way. It's like more of an active learning mode rather than like passively just reading through stuff, and it will help you immensely when you're going for your revision. It's also like in the end.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hi
Sir,
Yes.
Rajat.
what is the duration of each day's lecture ना कितना सेशन का कितना आवर्स का होगा एक दिन का पर डे जो सेशन आपने
Roughly, see, not all of them are live classes. A lot of it is like pre-recorded. Okay, we will have live classes and doubt clearing sessions as well. Okay, they have been scheduled, and some like additional will be scheduled during the course. The daily content, as Mayank sir mentioned during the webinar, is like will be roughly 4 hours every day. Okay, so every day you'll get 4 hours worth. I'm not sure what is the total duration of lectures are, I think it was somewhere around 120 hours, Mayank sir, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes. Because 4 hours daily for 30 days, it is around 100 to 120
120
days for geology and 50 hours, 55 hours for forestry,
forestry.
right? So 100, 120 days
ठीक है
hours.
सर। एंड सर लाइव लाइव सेशन जो होंगे उनका रिकॉर्डिंग मिल जाएगा ना उस दिन,
हाँ हाँ।
हाँ हाँ,
है ना? ठीक। एंड सर पेमेंट का शायद इशू आ रहा है उसमें, लिंक आपने जो सेंड किया था बैंक सर ने मेरे को उस
वो
पे।
नहीं हो गया, फिक्स हो गया सम।
अच्छा ठीक है सर।
उस पे
ओके।
यूआरएल इशू हो गया था, आई थिंक इट हैज
ओके
बीन
सर,
फिक्स्ड।
थैंक यू सर।
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
So, what is the difference between this comprehensive course and crash course for geology?
See, comprehensive course is like the name suggests, it is more comprehensive. It is from the base to the exam level. It is recommended for those people who are giving civil services with geology, or who are, there are some people who prepare only for forest, right? Like the last year AIR 2, he skipped civil services altogether. It was his fourth or fifth attempt, and he skipped civil services. He wanted to prepare for forest alone, so he started in June itself. So that is the course. So the difference is uh, that is around 250 to 270 hours of class lectures in comprehensive course, right? In crash course there are, I said, 120, around 100 to 120 hours of classes. That is the one difference. Another difference is about the access for crash course is around 100 days. Access for comprehensive course is for 270 days, right? So these are the two difference. It is more crash course is more fast paced, right? Sorry, done in shorter period of time. Comprehensive course is covered in around 4 months of time.
And sir, regarding this combo course of forestry and geology, will you be providing any guidance like how should we cover the topics of forestry along with geology so as to get maximum coherence in the both the topics?
See, like you will have access to both the courses, and in that the mentors have talked about how to cover. But कैसे आपको cover करना है, that is up to you, right? Whether you want to do it together or like just I mentioned. So obviously it will be provided. About coherency, I didn't get like in what kind of coherency are you talking?
Means you said that a few of the topics are having some intersection with
No, no,
geology.
only one. Only one remote sensing is mentioned in both the syllabus. See, you must have read. You must have read about Indian Forest Report, right? ISFR, Indian State of
Yes, sir.
Forest Report. So how that is
Yes, sir.
conducted? That FRI conducted using satellite, right? Remote satellite images. So they, basically survey the what is the green area of the country, 24.17, whatever is there, right? So there also in forestry we use remote sensing satellite for some purpose, right? In geology we use remote sensing for some other purpose, maybe for if there is mining going on, so just to monitor mine kitna mining ho gaya hai, for rocks ke hisab se, if there is disaster management is there, some landslide is happening, so we can figure that out. So दोनों में कंसेप्ट और रिमोट सेंसिंग इज सेम, बट पर्पस इज डिफरेंट. तो वहां पे थोड़ा सा अलग तरीके से पूछेंगे, यहाँ अलग तरीके से पूछेंगे. दैट इज द ओनली कॉमनैलिटी. अदरवाइज forestry is बिल्कुल different, geology is different mostly.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I wanted to ask whether the first two introductory lectures are available for everyone or those who enroll today.
I think from today itself the classes will be closed group, right? Closed group हो जाएगा, तो it will only be for those who enroll. But I think we have given unit 1 free for everyone. So whatever we will be having in unit 1 in first 3-4 days, it will be available for free for everyone, right? Even general geology is available for free presently.
Yeah.
Where will it be available, sir? On YouTube?
No, no, no. Only on our portal, right? Only on our
Yeah,
portal.
it will be like video on our portal. Like you can register for free preview for that, right? If I'm not
Yes.
wrong, Mayank sir. And yeah,
Yes.
I'll think about it. Like maybe we can like have an open session, like at least the first one, like very basic introduction, because we are not starting a subject. So like maybe we can make that open as well.
Okay, sir.
Will calculators be allowed in examinations? I don't think
Yes, yes.
they are allowed.
Calculators are
Yeah,
allowed. They are
calculators are
allowed, but you need very basic calculations. So it is good to take calculator, simple calculator, scientific calculator, but they are allowed on the optional paper. But you don't have to worry. What tough, what difficult calculations are not there. Very basic, like say 8th, 9th level, but they are allowed.
Sir, I have not even seen the syllabus yet. I mean, so will there be some introduction class like this?
I'll share the
Yes.
syllabus on the group today itself, right?
So
So will these
that's
slides will be
just
available,
Anshu.
the
Just one
presentation?
more comment. Like Sushant's, because he made a very important comment here. So he said like you are learning, like for example from NPTL you are doing like structural geology and you have not seen the syllabus yet. It's not a like ideal way to start preparation. So this is for everyone. Okay. uh, you are not here like for the sake of learning geology. Let me tell you, like I am a geologist. I find geology very very interesting. It is a very good subject. Okay, I hope you use it throughout your life, but the chance is 99% of you, like if you crack your forest services, okay, you will also forget about it, you will not use it. Okay, so your aim here not is not to like become a PhD in geology. Okay, you have to clear an exam. So you have to, and especially you have so little time, so you have to be very very focused. Okay, so you should always refer to syllabus first. Okay, so you don't have the luxury of like learning topics just for the fun of learning them, which is not like a good thing ideally, but you have to keep in mind that what's your ultimate objective here. Okay, so Sushant, please today go and like take a printout of syllabus and take a look at the syllabus, like at least what subject you're starting, take a look at that syllabus first. Okay.
So will the course be accessible on app? Yes. See, our primary platform is our web portal. It is very stable. It is compatible with all the devices. Even on your phone, you can, but it will work on browser. If you have enrolled, then we also have an option of app. It is in beta mode, but it works fine, right? So that will be shared in the group. The link to that. We have a Android app presently named Planet Geology, right? But in that the course will not be available. The course will be available on a different
You can share
app,
that link.
which is,
Yeah.
yes, we will share the link, right? Name is Link.
आईपैड पे भी होगा वो? हेलो
Abhishek Chauhan.
सर, एप्पल
Yes.
स्टोर
Yeah.
पे भी होगा? एप्पल स्टोर
हाँ,
पे भी होगा?
Apple Store पे भी it will work, right?
Hello, sir. Good morning. So, sir, I had couple of questions. So, since I have no background knowledge of geology, what my plan was to solely focus on whatever you tell in the class, and not part of the reason why I did not look at the syllabus is because it would be incomprehensible for me to figure out what is there. So, my focus was to get into the course
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
focus entirely on the
Okay,
class.
Abhishek, it
What
was
is
your
there?
comment. I thought it was like Sushant's comment because he has already
Yeah.
started
No.
preparation.
No. No.
Okay,
No.
maybe then my
Ha,
bad.
it's
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So that is the one thing.
Yeah.
So that was what I was looking to. The other part, which was since micro notes help a lot in civil services, well, exam, but I don't know whether we'll have time to make micro notes of the thing which we are reading for the first time. So is there, matlab, can you please tell us ki what would be an ideal time to make micro notes if there is a one, or if we'll have to revise from the notes which we make in the class itself only?
See, Abhishek, ultimately this is an all India service exam, right? So you got to do what you got to do. You prepared for 9 months for civil services, then you could make the notes. You will have to do that in this 50 days. So that is what I am saying. Ki, like you can see the session of Shivam Mishra. We had session 15 days back. So he also did the same what he did for civil in this 50 days time. He just went through whatever we told him. Right? He even skipped few of the things. He was in constant touch with the mentors. He skipped few of the things. He made the notes. He revised them 3 times. And 4 5 days before exam, he could even make some of the micro notes. I understand it would not be like civil services because of lack of time, but it is possible to even reach that level in this 50 55 days, right? So कुछ notes तो बनाने पड़ेंगे. We will also provide some notes. We will also provide some, short 10 12 minutes revision classes at the end. All those things will be there. It will be taken care of, right? So
Yeah.
ultimately you will have to make. Presently, your aim should be to cover the syllabus,
Yeah,
make the
yeah,
first set of notes, right?
yeah,
Then
yeah.
it will happen, and you will yourself make from 55 days from today. If you are consistent and serious about IFS Mains 2023, you will yourself make the notes, right? Believe me.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Like there was a question from next year. I am MSc in chemistry and preparing for next year. So see, good combination is by both the good chemistry. If you are good in chemistry, you can handle chemistry. Then it is good that you stick with chemistry because the graduation subject is the best subject in my understanding for UPSC exam. And then I think you can go with forestry because it is a easier subject, right? We do have some students who have chemistry backgrounds. They have chemistry and geology combination also, but geology can give good marks, like I said earlier, but it has substantially more syllabus than forestry. So that is the thing. If you can play, if you are comfortable with chemistry and you are willing to give more time, then you can go with geology. Otherwise, I think you can go with chemistry and forestry as the optional. That would be easier. Aditya,
I think there is a question on test series. So test series is not part of like the course that we have. I think there is a separate test series, but usually I think as Mayank like mentioned at the very start of this course also, like for example answer writing, practicing and all, that luxury is usually available like when you are writing UPSC civil services, when you have certain time. Okay, here right now, like even if you are like just able to finish the syllabus and do like a good revision, that will already be sufficient, or to take you like beyond like what other students are doing. Okay, beyond many. But test series is still there. Okay, so if like you want to enroll in that test series, but that is separate from this course.
yes, sir. Like it is there with prior geology, but it is not included with the course because it will ultimately increase the cost. And I know that most of you will not be writing tests, so there is no point of taking the fee and student not utilizing it. If you reach the level where you can write the test, which you will 10 days before the exam, then maybe you can write few tests. And this was done even by Apur, whose notes you study. Even I think Shivam last year, he asked for test series around 15th of November. I gave him some test. He didn't write, but he was ready. Test series ready. So that would be an ideal condition when you will be in a condition to write the test around 15th of November, 10th of November. Then you can maybe contact us and think about it. Otherwise, we will give you PYQs compilation today itself in the group. So you will have a sufficient number of questions to practice, right? To write. Plus, you should not worry much about answer writing because geology is scientific subject. यहाँ पे you just have to define something and write whatever content they have asked. Right? There is no much articulation thing and all those things. Basic diagram. Science is what? Science is define anything, make a illustration, make a diagram, write whatever they have asked. That is it. There is nothing like conclusion much, right? Basic introductory definitional introduction is there. So it is taken care of. The prime aim should be to cover the syllabus. That is it. Book list for no, like I said again, the Sushant is asking about book list. If you want to read book, I don't think you will be able to prepare in 50-55 days, right? If you're targeting IFS 2023, so that is not possible. We can provide the book list. It is there in our open channel also. You can scroll the file. There is a book list, but that is for
So,
people who
for
are preparing for
example, see, this is one igneous petrology book.
yes.
So you will not be able to finish even one book, one subject. Okay, so this is 700 pages. Okay, 700 pages of book. So even if you're like able to cover just one book in this time period, and like whatever, now you can say like you can go selectively into books, but we have already done that for you. Okay, so usually like
Yes.
it's not even for
Forestically, I was
comprehensive.
saying about
Yeah.
Manikandan, right? There is a very famous book. It is like Lakshmikant, right? So Manikandan and Prabhu, you can get it in any store, even Amazon. So usko kharid lo. Even Apur has led the session on forestry. वो बोलता है कि it is not needed. So the course is sufficient. You won't even need Manikandan. But I personally feel that कि Manikandan पढ़ो साथ में, because not everybody, all of your competitor will be doing some course, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them will be only doing self study, so you will also have what they are studying, right? So have that Manikandan and Prabhu book for forestry and the course, that is it. Geology के लिए we don't recommend any book. आपको कुछ खरीदना है, like we understand some people are there जिनको book पढ़ने की आदत है, so you can just buy a guide book, right? Any you, there is a, like sir said, sir ने जो book बताई, that is just a one chapter, igneous and metamorphic petrology, right? So there are 12 books, but there is a guide book, small books, 200-300 page, that is KM Bangad. So you can buy that KM Bangad, you can just keep it. It is just 200-300 rupees investment, keep on your table. So कभी कभी ये हो सकता है कि in next 50-55 days you might get overwhelmed by, right? So उस समय you can just come to that Bangad book and read the chapter, या read those 3-4 pages. It will calm you down कि हाँ इतना ही तो पढ़ना है, right? So you have that KM Bangad geology के लिए, right? I have not heard about AK Gorai and all those books, so I cannot comment. KM Bangad you
I
can
think
have.
yeah, he said like that's for mining kind of guidebook. Yes, Sushant, like similar
Yes, yes,
for Bangar. Yeah, and
yes.
sometimes yeah, what will happen is like for one or two subjects. So for example, in the end, like you think like stratigraphy is too much. So maybe like for certain topics you can pick like okay, I'll do this from Bangar. Okay, so it will give you certain confidence also that you are covering the subject. But like book list in the sense like for individual subject, that's not really needed. Even for like comprehensive course, that is not really needed.
And Piyush is asking about GB. Yeah, GB Mahapatra is also a similar guidebook, right? जैसे कि बांगड़ ने छापा है, वैसे भी उन्होंने भी कहीं से छापा है. So that is also guidebook. That is also equally good. But इनमें थोड़ा बहुत ये फर्क है कि I think in Bangar paleontology is completely missing. In GB Mahapatra is I think also in that paleontology is completely missing. Then there is some
No,
PK Mukherjee.
a little bit is there. Yeah.
So more or less same. You if you can go to any one of them, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain notes are notes are non-downloadable? मतलब you cannot download them, you cannot take print of them, right? They will be on the portal. We will give you content on almost every topic, uh, but it will be on the portal itself. So all right, if there is any more question, please ask. Otherwise, we'll end the session.
सर प्रिंट आउट नहीं ले पाएंगे मतलब नोट्स के?
No, you will have to make your notes. Most of the notes, right? कुछ जगह
अपूर्व सर के जो है, अपूर्व सर के
हाँ
जो
वो
नोट्स
तो we will give you, right? They are backup. अपूर्व ने
ठीक.
हमारे जो नोट्स थे उन्हीं को छापा है बेसिकली, वही लिख के उन्होंने नोट्स बनाए हैं क्लास को सुन के और स्लाइड्स को लिख के, ठीक है? तो दे आर देयर, वो हम ग्रुप में भी शेयर कर देंगे, राइट? बेसिकली बट जो हमारे नोट्स होते हैं दे आर नॉट डाउनलोडेबल, यू विल हैव टू मेक इट. अपूर्व ने भी तो बनाए थे ना, अपूर्व को 280 नंबर आया 400 में से, बिकॉज ही ऑल्सो शुरू में वो भी बोला कि अरे सर डाउनलोड करने दे दो, प्रिंट कर दो, नहीं दिया हमने, बोला कि मेक योर ओन नोट्स. बट देन ही वेंट थ्रू द रट, राइट? उसने वो मेहनत किया, वो लेबर किया 40-50 दिन, फ्रस्ट्रेट होके किया भले, बट ही मेड हिज नोट्स इन 40-45 डेज एंड सी उसके नोट्स सब लोग पढ़ रहे हैं बेसिकली. सो दैट इज व्हाट इज नीडेड टू गेट सच स्कोर. नोट्स खुद के बनाना चाहिए. पूर्व के नोट्स वी विल शेयर फॉर रेफरेंस. So I think we can end the session. If you have any doubt, you can always text us on Telegram. Right? Yes, Anusha?
The presentation which you have showed for general knowledge paper will be available in the portal or subsequent?
I will share the same on the open group of Planet Geology. Maybe I can share the link of an open group of ours, Telegram
Fine.
group. इसमें मैं share कर दूंगा, right? This is the link I have. You all join this group for update in general, right? Somme is wanted to ask that before the end of crash course, can it be converted to comprehensive course? Right? So you want to convert crash course to comprehensive course. So basically, you might be preparing for 2024, right? So you want to cover the syllabus now with crash course, and then you want to go with comprehensive course for 2024, right? If that is so, it can be done, right? There is an email ID, support@planetgeology.com. You can just mail it to them. The support team help you in all those things. It can be done, right? You don't have to worry about it. So sir, we can end the session.
Yes.